What are you doing, Jen? Always getting something, aren't you, buddy? So you can see today I've got a lot of stuff out on the counter. It's going to be a busy day. I'm just getting started. I will try to bring you guys along. I'm going to go ahead and get my elderberry syrup, which are all these herbs back here, in my pots so they can steep for the day, and I'll pull that up tonight. I'm also making yogurt with our milk. I'm going to be using the cultures from this, and I also add some beef gelatin because it really helps with the consistency of the yogurt that we like. So it's going to be a busy day. It's going to be a really busy day today, but we want to try to get ahead. I've also got some sourdough starter out, but we want to try to get ahead before who comes? Livy. So we're trying to get stocked up on some stuff to put in the refrigerator so that I don't have to do it with a new baby.
Yeah.
So far I've put down my elderberries in there. I've added rose hip, which is this right here. I'm also going to add some cloves. These are whole cloves. Oh, I got it, thank you. There are several recipes out there that will tell you what to measure. I don't measure anymore just because I've done it for so long. I kind of know what to put in there and what not to put in there. This is dry ginger root. We are also going to put some enchilada. This is very, very good for upper respiratory, cold and flu. Enchilada is a herb that has been used for, I mean, like most of your other herbs, has been used for hundreds of years by ancestors, and is very good for upper respiratory. I also need to get cinnamon sticks in there. The girls are unloading the dishwasher, so it's really noisy in here. And then we are going to cover this and let it steep until tonight. What are you making, Harley?
Crown.
You got a pattern going, don't you, girl?
That's how I'm gonna do it. Oh.
My herbs are done. Now, you guys saw me, you didn't get to see me harvest them, but you got to see me kind of talk about them a little bit. So I got them cleaned. I used my salad spinner and spin it around and get them real good and dry. Put them in my dehydrator. This is rosemary, and I want to show you when they're ready. This is how I know they're ready. Now, I said all that to say this. Usually they stay in for about 24 hours, but because we've had kind of a crazy past 2 days, these have actually been in 2 days, or closer, yeah, about 2 days. So how do you know they're dry is when you can take your herb and it is crunchy, like everything is literally just falling off. Then that's how I know this rosemary is done, because it is so dry. So what I have here is a pampered shelf. This is just a pampered shelf grinder. And once I get it about half full, I have a little ball in the bottom that will come down and push my herbs down. And I will grind them. My rosemary container is actually full, so I've got to get another jar out. This is oregano. This is how I store my dried herbs. So I will get my oregano out. I think it's on the bottom. And I will grind it down and put it in this jar and store it in the jar in my spice container. So my herbs are done. I know they're done because they're crunchy to touch. I will grind them up, put them in a glass jar with a nice top on that can get pretty tight because you want it to be pretty airtight. And then it will go in the storage container. Then when I get done with this, then my dehydrator has a mode on it that is set to yogurt. So y'all are going to see me put some yogurt together and get the yogurt in here, and that will ferment for the next 24 hours. All right, Harley, where are you taking my rosemary stems?
To the fireplace to make it smell good.
So we toss them in the fire, the stems,
Sorry.
and it'll make the house smell up like rosemary.
Say stop.
Forgot that Colby had gotten this like coffee grinder type thing, so I'm just gonna try it and see if it makes my life easier when I do herbs. So here we go. Pretty powdery. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna use this from now on instead, and then I'll just take this and pour it over into my parsley container, which is over here. And you can see it's definitely ground it more fine than what I usually do using this little grinder, which I'm happy with that. So that's what we're gonna use from now on. Getting started with my yogurt, y'all. I must admit, I'm pretty exhausted today. But I do, like I mentioned to y'all earlier, I do like the beef gelatin, adding the all-natural beef gelatin, just because it does give it that consistency that we like. And I do have a video on my yogurt if you want to know how to make yogurt. But it is fairly easy to do. And the most important thing is to just try it and see which way you like it best. So it's really just personal preference. I have made it multiple different ways. But the one thing that I did find that I liked was the beef gelatin, which is not in my video. On my old video, you'll see it linked. But if you do want to add that, you can look up directions on that. I'm not a measure. I've told y'all that a lot of times. I just kind of dump everything in, pour it all together, and go with it. And my intention with today, and then why I'm so exhausted, is I have made in bulk elderberry syrup. So this will steep for a few more hours. In bulk yogurt to put in the refrigerators. Because when baby Livy gets here, I know I'm not going to be up to making a bunch of stuff. While I'm waiting on my milk to finish cooling down, I wanted to show y'all what we're having for supper tonight. So I basically made some homemade Alfredo sauce. It's like a cream cheese based Alfredo sauce. And this is our leftover turkey from Thanksgiving dinner. So it's gonna be like instead of like a chicken Alfredo type, it's gonna be like a turkey Alfredo. And you know, it's important to us that nothing goes to waste. So that's what we're working on right now while we're waiting for the milk to cool down. I thought that would be kind of interesting for some of y'all to know that, you know, we talk about so much frugal stuff on the farm, but wasting is, you know, it's important to us. We worked really hard for this. Even though there's a little bit of meat left, we worked really hard for that meat. From raising these babies up from chicks to where they are now. And then all of the harvesting and processing and cooking. So we want to make it go for as long as we can. I'm going to top this with some fresh parsley that you guys seen me clean and dehydrate and put up. And cover it. And we're going to pair this with some garlic bread and some fresh broccoli tonight, and that will be our supper. So my milk has finally come back down to a cooler temperature. The thing with, okay, so let me tell you why I did what I did. I heated my milk up because I needed this to dissolve in the milk. So I heated it up enough to get that to dissolve, but I didn't want it to be so hot that when I put my cultures in, that it destroys my culture. So I moved it off the stove and allowed it to cool down before I put my yogurt in with cultures in there. And now I'm just going to mix that up. So I only ended up getting about a gallon. I was planning to do this milk over here, which was going to give me my other half gallon. But I'm going to be totally honest with y'all. I'm completely exhausted. Okay, so I have my elderberry syrup done, and I got a gallon out of it, so that's great. That will last us about 4 weeks. So we're gonna put this outside in the refrigerator and pull it out as we need it. Happy homesteading, y'all.